Hello cozy friends, welcome back to the Cozy Hermit channel. If you're new here, my name is Lynn and welcome to a little bit of a different kind of vlog, because today I kind of want to focus on witchcraft. And with that I do not mean like we're going to brew potions and we're going to do all kinds of like typical, you know, fictional witchy stuff, although I suppose real witches do brew potions in a way. But I've been actually very inspired by this book. In Dutch the title is A Guide for Witches. The original English title is Anyone Can Be a Perfect Witch, and it is written by Ambrosia Hawthorne. So my sister actually bought this book during the summer. It was during the Cozy Bookshop tour, which we went on like sometime in July or August here in the channel. And I already like told you about this book back then, that I was really interested in reading it myself as well. And that once I would read it, that I would actually like talk to you guys about it, like what it is about. And this book is like a very very practical book. It really is a guide for witches. And by that I mean that it actually like this book is like full of tips and suggestions on how to lead a more intentional life. So they also call that magical living. So this is like a very wonderful book. Like I said, it doesn't go into any topic on a very deep level. It's more like it's all about suggestions of what you can do to improve your life, and it is up to you which things will work for you and which things do not work for you. But there are like lots of very practical things in here which I think are very interesting. Like for example, this book also gives like tips for social situations. So like when you are like kind of lost in a social situation, when there are people around you and you kind of like need to take back control over your emotions or whatever, it just suggests like that you do breathing exercises, like just take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and also like repeat a short mantra, a quiet mantra to yourself, like I got this, I'm calm, I'm strong, I can do this. And maybe you're like, well duh, this isn't like typically witchcraft, but it is like a more of intentional way of living and just dealing with situations in a more calmer way, in which you do not let your emotions rule, which sometimes can be really tough. I am quite an emotional person. Like on the one hand I'm very like level-headed, but on the other hand, if I speak for myself, I can also be like very emotional. I cry very easily. So I have to say that like concentrating on your breathing and just giving yourself some like a little bit of a pep talk, a bit of a mantra, has definitely helped me various times in certain situations. So that definitely helps. And then there's also like other different things which I just think is very interesting and very handy for everyday life. And that is like coming up with like small rituals for your everyday things, for your everyday routines. So even though like you can get like bored out of your skull because every day you need to do the dishes, every day you need to do other chores around the house, or you've got certain things that just come back each and every day during your work or your studies, you can make that more intentional and make it more magical by having like a little routine around it. Like for example, before you start on an assignment, or even before you start doing your fitness workout, this book gives like really great tips. Just like fill your water bottle, and then with every sip of water you take, try to charge every sip of water mentally by filling it with good intentions in your head. You know, again, with very positive self-affirmations. And that way you can like even make the most mundane tasks, you can turn them into something magical, and you've got like way more intention. So you're not just like mindlessly working for your task, but you're actually like really there. You're really present during those mundane routine tasks. And I think that that can actually make your everyday life like so much better. It's also like kind of like romanticizing your everyday life. It is just another way again, but it is very practical. And yeah, this book is filled with all of those kinds of tips and tricks, and it is just really interesting. I actually got quite inspired by this book. This book has also inspired me to get myself some oracle cards, and as a matter of fact, I didn't really get myself this pack of oracle cards, but I got it for my birthday. But I have decided that I actually at least want to try to pull a card each and every day. One thing though is that this oracle card came with an online guidebook, and for that I had to like scan this QR code, and it turns out that the guidebook has been taken offline, so I cannot like look up the actual meaning of the card. So it is all up to my own interpretation. I know that would already have been the case. I mean, the same goes with like tarot cards. They all have their own meaning, but it's really up to your interpretation and like where are you in your life? What question did you ask as to what they might mean. Anyway, the card I pulled today is the Dare and Oath, which stands for healing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to say that I am in a pretty good place in my life right now. But if I like think of my physical being at the moment, I am feeling a little bit tired. I've been feeling very tired all weekend. So maybe this means like a literal healing. Maybe I should just try to take it a bit easy today and take extra good care of myself this weekend. So that is my personal interpretation. I'm very new to this, so bear with me. But yeah, I think that does make sense. That means I am definitely going to make some healthy tea for myself later today and for my other family members. So in a minute I'm going to cut some ginger. I've got new ginger, and then I'm going to make some yummy tea, which is good for your health. So I've already been doing that for like a month now and having so much fun with that. But that is also like one of those really fun things you can do to live more intentionally, like just really focus on the things you do for yourself to make your everyday life just a lot better and to take extra good care of yourself. So, and because it is October and Halloween is upon us, I thought it would be fun to have like a bit of a witchy twist for this video. But all jokes aside about like witches like wearing pointy hats and that kind of stuff, I do believe witchcraft is a real thing, but maybe not like exactly the way we've been taught through movies and books, but more like through practical things and just like kind of like a practical kind of magic, everyday kind of magic, finding magic in the mundane. I generally believe in that. So I hope that you are interested in this as well, and I hope that you will enjoy the rest of this video. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and we'll get on with this video, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.
dreamed. Colors and contrast making it art. What if happy can be built? Tuning into all that's good. Lucky I learned what lemons can do. Lucky they let me here with you. Lucky. Ain't it funny? Thought I was lacking. Then I realized all is within. Are your thoughts friend or foe? It's your choice which way you go. What if happy can be built? Tuning into all that's good. Lucky I learned what lemons can do. Lucky they let me here with you. May I have peace to accept what I can't change. Courage to change the things I can. Wisdom to know the difference. May I have peace to accept what I can't change. Courage to change the things I can.
Hey friends, so the strangest thing has been happening to me with these oracle cards. I've been pulling a new card each and every day of the week, and well, at first I just noticed that all of the cards I pulled, they kind of had a theme. I couldn't help but notice that they all had like a theme that seemed to surround self-care. So I pulled a card for healing. I even pulled a card for boundaries, which kind of like seemed to tell me that I needed to set some like boundaries for myself in order to like keep an eye out on my health, mentally and physically. But for the past 3 days I have been pulling the same card. I pulled it just then again, and it is balance. It's kind of weird because I've pulled this one, like the first time I pulled it was on Friday, then yesterday, and then I drew it again just then. It was kind of weird because I swear I have shuffled the deck each and every time I shuffled it. So it's kind of weird that I keep pulling the same card for 3 days in a row. but it does make sense to me because I think it's very important that I find a sense of balance in the next few weeks, because I think I told you guys earlier in videos that they are doing like lots of construction work in my neighborhood. Most of all, they are doing like renovations in the apartment building where I live, and those renovations are actually coming my way. They will be doing renovations in my place next week, and it's going to be a total mess because they are going to like do renovation work in every single room of my apartment at the same time. So I have to like pull stuff away from the walls, I have to like put things into boxes, and it's going to be a mess, and it will last like 10 days. There's a weekend in between in which they won't work, but my apartment will be a mess, so it's going to be kind of stressful, and I won't be able like to do any vlogging work or any content creation for that matter. So yeah, it's going to be, like I said, really messy and really chaotic. And this past week I've actually behind the scenes of this video, I've been working very hard on filming extra footage for 2 more vlogs. So I've been filming 3 vlogs in 1 week, which was kind of exhausting but also really cool actually, because I actually don't want to miss a single week of uploading videos. But I think that these cards were actually like telling me all week to just like take it easy, find my boundaries, and well, apparently I need to find balance. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. So I'm still like really new to this, and I think I still need to like, I know, learn to read the cards and to like trust my intuition and that kind of stuff. But it is like making sense, and like I said, there was like a certain theme all week, and I thought that was actually really interesting. So yeah, I absolutely love this deck. Anyway, as for other news of this video, I have finished reading The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which was the witchy book I chose for this month, for October, and I love it. I was already really enthusiastic about it in last week's video if you were here. In case you were not there, let me tell you real quick what the book is about. So the book is about Mika Moon, who is a 30-something witch, and witches are not supposed to live together. So every witch has to kind of like live in solitude, and they all only come together every 3rd week of every 3rd month of the year. And that's when they like come together and talk about their spells and talk about their lives and that kind of stuff. Anyway, Mika actually has a social media account, kind of like an Instagram or a TikTok account, on which she shares these really fun little videos in which she actually pretends to be a witch. However, someone online recognizes that she is an actual witch, and that is how Mika Moon ends up at a secret cottage called Nowhere House, where there's like a kind of like a mismatched family of people who just like come together by chance, and they have like 3 very young witches under their care, and they need a actual adult witch to teach them how to like control their powers, because their magical powers are kind of like out of control. And at first Mika is very distrustful, and she's like, I shouldn't do this, this is dangerous because the witches shouldn't be together. There are 3 young witches here already. If she will be there, there will be 4 witches together. But in the end, she actually decides to teach these young witches how to harness their powers and how to control them. And that's where the story continues. So that is what it is about in short. And the book is so beautiful. It is a really, really cozy book. Cozy in every sense of the word. And it is also like very wholesome. And I absolutely love the cast of characters. Like somehow the author managed to make me fall in love with the characters from like the very first page. Like I just adored all of them. They were so well written. Yeah, and I absolutely love this book. So if you haven't read it already and you're looking for like a magical, witchy, but very cozy, wholesome, very warm book, definitely read this one. So I decided to read this one for October, for Halloween, but it is not like really a witchy Halloween book. It's more like a witchy Christmas book. It is so warm. It is so really so beautiful. I don't know what else to say, but it's just a really, really wonderful book. So go read it if you haven't already, and if the premise speaks to you, absolutely wonderful. I absolutely love this book. So anyway, as for another book, there was like one more thing I wanted to highlight from this witchy book, from the Guide for Witches, or Anyone Can Be a Perfect Witch. There was this really interesting passage in which it is said that if you are a witch, you live a long with the seasons, and that means that during the summer you actually turn more productive because there's like more stronger energy from the sun during the summer. So that's when you turn productive. That's when you like really get to work and set new goals and that kind of stuff. And then it says that during the winter, because the strength of the sun weakens, you tend to slow down. So the winter is for slowing down, the summer is for being productive. And I thought that was really interesting because it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense because during the summer you tend to have more energy, and during the winter I personally tend to feel more tired easily. So yeah, I thought that that was really interesting, and like I said, it made sense. But on the other hand, I do kind of struggle with the idea of like slowing down during the winter, because first of all, this world, this society doesn't encourage you to slow down like at all, actually. So it's like you need to keep going, right? Like for 100%, actually for the entire year. And actually, usually the summer is actually meant for slowing down, right? That's when people go on holiday. That's when you get time off. But it makes so much more sense to actually slow down in the winter. But yeah, once more, I love the idea, but I also struggle with it because I also like to be productive and I've got so many ideas, so many plans. But on the other hand, I think like maybe I shouldn't take it too literal, but more think of slowing down, but like with a certain mindset, like a slow living mindset. So yeah, anyway, I'm just curious, like what are your thoughts on that? Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video so I can actually start editing it, and I can start editing the other two videos. I got 3 really fun videos lined up for you guys. I hope that you will be here. I hope that you will enjoy it. I've had so much fun this week filming them all. I am pretty tired, but I had so much fun filming everything, and I hope that you will have fun watching them as well. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. Maybe even subscribe to the Cozy Hermit channel if you haven't already. And until we meet each other again, as always, stay cozy.